And we're live. Here we are. Good evening, or morning, or afternoon, or whatever time it is as you're watching the replay. Welcome to those of you who are joining us live for this very special LaunchCrate Live from Home. I am Cynthia Fales, the founder of LaunchCrate Publishing. And I am really excited to bring on tonight's guest for our live from home. But before I do that, I want to make sure that you all have the chance to chat with us. It's really important that we make sure that this is a conversation that's going back and forth between not just myself and our very special guest, but also you who are watching, wherever you're watching from. So make sure that you say hello. Tap in, tell us where you're checking in from, where you're watching from in the comments so that we can say hello back to you. And as we're going, if you have any questions for this wonderful guest, drop those in the comments as well. So we have some time set aside to answer that question or those questions. Now, without any further ado, I want to bring on our very special guest who is here to talk to us tonight about something really dope. Miss J.R. Lyle, how are you?
I am well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining me for this.
Thank you.
I am excited for our viewers and the readers that are out there that are eager um, to learn more about you and more about what makes you tick and more about where this book came from that we're going to be talking about tonight. Before we do that, I think we have a couple of people that have already tapped in. So let's say hello to Miss Gray from Kansas City, Kansas. Thank you so much for saying
Hello,
hello.
hello.
And also to Miss Jackson, who says good evening to us this evening.
Good evening.
All right. So glad that you all have tapped in. Again, if you're watching, check in with us, say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. Miss Lyle,
Yes,
you're doing well.
I am doing well.
You got
No
some
complaints.
beautiful flowers over your shoulder there.
I do.
Tell us a little bit about what those flowers symbolize.
So, those flowers were a gift of celebration of a long journey finally coming to fruition, being encouraged to step out on faith and
Yeah.
step into a new journey of which I had no background at all, just a love of writing. And
Mhm.
so it's a symbol of celebration and accomplishment.
All right. And we're going to talk about what that celebration and accomplishment is about here momentarily. We have two other people who have tapped in, and I want to make sure we say hello to them. Denzel,
Hello.
how are you? Thank you for checking in from KC. And I think you know this person tapping
I
in from
do.
Lawrence, Kansas. And all the way from Mesa, Arizona, Mr. Mickens. Thank you so much for tapping in, y'all, and for watching. And I don't know if you noticed, we've been kind of hinting and alluding at why we're here. It says there's a book launch party happening. You can see that up there above us, right? Where's it's over here, right there. And beside J.R. Lyle, it says author. I don't know if you know, but she has released a book and it has been out almost a week now. We kind of snuck this one out, but it's a really special book. We got a couple other people tapping in that I want to make sure we mention. So, Mr. Van, tapping in from Kansas City. Y'all make sure you say hello
Evening.
so we can call your name out. And again, if you have questions, drop those in the comments below, right down there, so that we can answer those questions as we go. Okay, Miss Author, Madam Author,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about you. Who are you? Tell us what you do, why you do it.
Like many people, I am a person with many hats and roles, like all of us in our lives.
Hmm.
I am a mom, I'm a professional in healthcare, and I'm an author.
Absolutely. So, talk to me a little bit about this release, which is entitled what?
Oh, Words in Sequence, a compilation
Words
of poetry.
In sequence. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Somebody that's super excited. I don't know if you can beat our level of excitement, but I know there's a lot of people that are excited for this book
Oh
to
yeah.
launch.
I don't think I've stopped smiling every time it crosses my mind. Just huge smile, huge smile.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. So tell me about, this book, Words in Sequence. Where did it come from?
From, oh gosh, ever since I can remember, I love writing. I love words just in general, how they come together, how they can say something different to me than they say to you, and how they can paint a picture
Mhm.
of just about anything, anything that touches any of your senses. Words can paint a picture that can be very different from one person to the next, kind of like looking at a piece of art.
Yeah.
Writing and stringing words together, it just brings me joy. It's my muse, it's my happy place. So I'll write on just about anything
Mhm.
at any point in the day. So um, it comes from a place of joy. It comes from a place of just wanting to take that leap. One of the things that my dad, one of the last things my dad said to me was, I just want you to be happy, whatever
Yeah.
that is you need to do,
Yeah.
be happy. And so instead of telling myself all the reasons why not to do something, I decided to give myself permission to do this. And so here we are.
That's huge, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How did that feel?
You can't put it in words. And here I am. Now I might be able to write it, but
Uh-huh.
to tell you verbally, I'm not too sure. Um, it is the most fulfilling feeling you could have. Next to being a mom, of course. But it's right up there. It's right up there. It's almost like looking at your baby the first time.
Mhm.
So it's not really describable.
Awesome. Okay. Gloria says hello.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you so much for tapping in, Gloria. And we got a question.
Okay.
I wanna make sure that we ask this one because this is a great one. How long did it take for you to write this
Ah,
book? Now, mind you, this is a compilation of poetry.
yes. So,
How long are we talking?
well, I'll say the word compilation. It's coming because there are pieces of work that I've written. Oh gosh, I couldn't even tell you when.
Mhm.
And it was just kind of going back and becoming familiar with those pieces and picking and choosing some of those pieces, maybe tweaking some of those pieces, and then adding on to those pieces. So I'd say it was a process over maybe 18 months or so.
Mhm.
But like I said, some of those pieces stretch a little further back than that.
Mhm. Gotcha, gotcha. So this book is, segmented into different sections. Can you tell us about those sections, and what each represents?
Oh gosh. Um, in general, I would say that each section it kind of pulls together. There's a section about, and I'm not going to give you the names of those sections, but I will tell you there's a
Go
section
by
that
the book.
focuses
Go by the
on
book.
right, go by the book. The intimacy of relationships.
Mhm.
There's a section that focuses on the struggles that we see um, in everyday life. Um, there is a section that focuses on or highlights, I'll say, inspiration
Mhm.
and drive to change. Um, there's a section on, I would say, spiritual connectedness. And so, it's not necessarily just my story. It is the story of just life in general that I
Yeah,
see, that I've encountered, whether it's an observation or something shared, or it could be something as simple as sitting outside on the patio, the way that the breeze is blowing through the leaves on the trees. So it doesn't
yeah.
take much to inspire me to write. So it's just about everything. But I think that there's something in it for everyone. I think
Mhm.
there's a story embedded in each one that will connect with any reader that picks up the book.
Absolutely. It's a very human-centered book. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I
Yeah.
would.
Okay. Dinsdale had a question for you. Do you have a favorite piece within the book?
Oh, that's like asking who's my favorite child. I don't
You
have.
know you have a favorite. Just don't tell us on the
Um,
live.
so my favorite I think is Pen to the Page because that's where my story begins with writing. It's me, a piece of paper, and it could be a napkin, it could be a piece of paper towel,
Mhm,
fast food sack, whatever, anything that I can write on.
mhm,
Um, it's me and a pen.
mhm.
So Pen to the Page is probably my favorite piece.
It's a very personal piece.
Yes.
I love it. Okay. You got another person tapping in here saying, "Hey, hey,
Hello.
how are you? Thank you so much for checking in, saying hello, and joining us this evening." Um, couple of other questions here. Hmm, where
Oh.
can we buy the book? Maybe we should answer that one. Here it is again. Where can we buy the book? Maybe we should drop a link so that they can, figure out where to go to buy the book. We'll
Okay.
include that in there. I'll drop that link in there for you all so that you can go straight to purchase it right now. And while I'm dropping that link in there, there's another question that you might wanna check out. This is a really good one. The pandemic,
Yes.
2020, was definitely a trying and difficult time. And 2021, I would say, is a little bit different,
Mhm,
but still has its own challenges, right?
mhm, mhm.
How do you write during a time such as this? Where do you find inspiration?
Well, for me, like I mentioned a little bit ago, there's inspiration all around.
Mhm,
If you take the time to pause, well, in my opinion, if you take the time to pause and just take in what the world is offering, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is, there's inspiration in there. There's a story that can be told, there's a story that can be shared. And in those stories that we take the time to write down and share, um, you never know how it may impact someone, how it may impact someone's life, how it may give somebody confirmation of
mhm,
maybe a situation that they are very familiar with, and inspire them or let them know that they're not alone. Especially in a time like this when we
yeah,
are so disconnected, for safety reasons. Um, I think that would be some inspiration. That's some inspiration for me to share.
mhm,
That was a big deal. Always been encouraged to share. Never really took that leap until
mm,
now. And
mhm.
what better time than now?
A
What better time than
absolutely.
now to be a vessel of encouraging connectedness?
I love that. Very, very cool. Okay, my goodness. Um, mhm. So many questions I wanna ask, so many directions I wanna go. Keisha, thank you so much for asking that question. Um, those of you that are watching on YouTube, I dropped the link in the chat there. Should also be on the LaunchCrate page. I'm hoping that it went to mine as well. Got my fingers crossed, but, um, let's see. Mhm. Where wanna go with this? Oh, here's the question. While I'm thinking of my next one, here's another one
Okay.
for you. How does it feel to have your dream come into fruition? That's a powerful question. They're gonna make you
Um,
try to put some words to it.
that, hmm, gosh, it's a mix of emotions. It's very filling. It's overwhelming.
Mhm.
Um, there's a lot of joy. There's a lot of joy in there. There's a lot of joy in seeing this come to fruition.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, just happy. I don't know if you can tell, with the smile and all, but I can't put it into words. And I know I'll try to think of some more words to to add on to answering that question.
Okay. Keelan had a question for you. Where do you sit stylistically in your writing?
Stylistically, oh gosh, I wouldn't say that I fit into any specific category.
Mhm,
I think I just write from my heart.
mhm,
I wouldn't say that I don't think I would fit into any particular style. I think I have a broad category and array of discussions that are embedded in my
mhm,
poetry, and one of the goals that I have in writing and sharing these pieces of writing is to provoke conversation.
mm,
And so, by speaking and provoking conversation, then it opens doors for people to maybe talk about things that they, you know, had buried deep down in and maybe would benefit from having um, some conversation about.
yeah,
So,
that's powerful. Um, we're gonna flip this question a little bit, right?
okay.
So the question kind of gets at how you write, right?
Hmm.
Thinking about you as a reader and you as a consumer,
Hmm.
what type of poetry speaks to you? What type of writing speaks to you? I wonder if it's similar or different.
What type of writing speaks to me?
Mhm,
I think, oh, wow. That's kind of, hmm. I would say I like things that talk about, um, that kind of touch life. Again,
mhm,
I'm big on, well, I won't say I'm big on verbally, but I'm big on provoking conversation to kind of dig into things that people kind of push to the side and those conversations that people ignore. So I would say that I would lean towards things like that,
mhm,
those deeply rooted, deeply seated type uh, pieces that would draw on your heart to say,
mhm.
um, I'm not sure if that answered your question.
It absolutely does, yeah.
Okay.
And I wanna pose the same question to our viewers as well. You all drop what type of, books speak to you? What type of messages speak to you in the comments so that we can see those as well? I'm really interested. I think just in general, I'm always interested in, um, finding what people enjoy so that I can see whether or not we're hitting the mark, as a publishing company. Keelan said, "Beautiful."
Thank you.
I agree. I agree 100%. Okay. So one of the things that I do with all of the guests that come on here is to create a story with them, something out of thin air using story cubes. And I have asked you in
Oh
advance
boy.
what your comfort level is with this, and I'm checking it again.
Well, why not? Here we go.
We're gonna
Let's
do
roll.
it?
We're gonna do it.
Okay. I was fully prepared for you to say, "You know what? I am not of the best mind tonight." So
Well,
so I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this. Jakayla says that she loves books with women heroes, and you know what? I agree with you on that. I love that we can, tell our own stories and write our own stories and write our own
mhm,
endings as well. Love
mhm.
that, love that. Y'all keep those comments coming. What type of books speak to you? Okay. Let me pull this up so that we can get this show rolling. And I'm really excited to see what we come up with. So, are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, we're going to stall for a little bit because we have another answer. Hurston said he's a big nonfiction business and self help reader.
Okay.
I can attest to that. Our house is full of those types of books, and I do mean full. Couple of avid readers over here. Awesome. Thank you, Hurston, for sharing that. Okay, before I share this screen, let me give you a quick rundown of how this is going to go. So on the screen, what you'll see are 9 cubes, and each
That's a
cube
long
has a
story.
different it's it's either fast or it's really drawn out. Sometimes this process takes 20 minutes. Sometimes this process takes 5 minutes. It really just depends on how many details you add. JL said, "Do it." Yep. Okay. So you'll see 9 different cubes, and a different picture or image on top of each cube. And our job is to use just one cube at a time, and we'll popcorn back and forth to create a story together. But not just yet, because Landon said he is interested in books that make him look at situations and people in a different way. Landon,
Oh,
I think you might want to check out Words in Sequence. Wink,
yes.
wink. I think you'll really, really like the poetry that's included within this book. Again, the link should be included there in the comments. Y'all check this book out. Celebrate with us. Go buy a copy of it. And Landon, let us know after you've read it whether or not there is poetry in here. Not whether or not there is, because I know there is. Which piece, that's what I'm going to ask you to do, Landon. Which piece speaks to you and helps you to see situations and people from a different light? And not just tell us that, tell the world that in a review. Drop it in Amazon because nobody knows what this book is like until readers start leaving reviews. Those are important, people. You look at the reviews before you buy something on Amazon. Okay, enough of those plugs. We're going to tell this story right after this comment. He said he has to agree with you. Right. He likes books that provoke thought and conversation, and also can't turn down a decent self improvement book. Always a great to take on different perspectives so that you can learn and apply to yourself if it resonates. Those are also the types of books that I loved. Okay. Are you ready to tell this story?
I'm ready.
Okay. We'll hold that thought because we have a great question
Oh,
and I
God.
want to make sure that we answer it. What inspired the title, Words in Sequence?
Well, I I've always said, the stringing together of words to create some sort of collage, and so how you place the words can tell a completely different story if you reorganize the words, and so
Hmm.
that's why I chose that title because
I love it.
it's all in the sequencing.
Absolutely. It's a powerful title as well. Okay. Now, are you ready?
I don't know if I should say yes. Sure.
Just go with it. Just go with it. Okay. Here we go. Let's see if I can share the correct screen. All right. Can you see that okay?
I do.
Okay. So it looks like we are working with a footprint, a moon. What would you call that third one?
It kind of looks like a building or a hospital, long time ago hospital or something, some
Okay.
sort of building.
We'll go with that. Looks like a person on a parachute,
Hmm.
a tree, a shooting star, a hand, an old school cell phone, and a house. So that's what we're working with. And JR, I'm going to ask you to get us started with Once Upon a Time and then choose whichever cube you want to choose and get our story started. Add as little or as few details as you want.
And I can only speak about one cube until you
Just
tell me to go into the next cube.
well,
Is that how that works?
once you pause, I'll jump in and I'll choose a cube and add to your story. And then when I pause, you'll jump in and we'll go back and forth until I think if the math works out correctly and we only do one cube at a time, you should be ending the story.
Okay. Once upon a time, When I gaze into the midnight sky, I decided to talk to the moon.
Oh, man. So many places you can go with that. Get in the zone. It was glowing so brightly just off the horizon as it started to rise in the night sky. And as I was trying to choose my words carefully, because you can only talk to the moon but for so long, I noticed a shooting star screaming across the sky. And I changed my mind about talking to the moon. All of a sudden, I had a wish to make.
I closed my eyes and I pondered to myself because this wish had to be very detailed, it had to be very specific. I wished that I would plant my feet firmly and be grounded in whatever this life had to offer me. As I paused and took a deep breath and sat in that moment while making that wish, my feet were grounded.
Well, I think we can wrap the story right there. I don't know how we get the rest of this in there. Okay. Let's see what I can come up with. Oh, goodness gracious. And as my feet were grounded and I was grounded in this very moment in time, I was grateful that my wish had been granted. And I looked up to the rest of the stars. I couldn't find them right away because the light of the moon was again shining so brightly that it almost drowned out the rest of the stars, which brought me back to my initial conversation that I was going to have. And I wasn't quite sure yet what I wanted to ask the moon or say to the moon. Because again, time is so limited in the conversation that I could have with the moon. So I pulled out my trusty old school cell phone and I dialed the only number that came to mind. I called. You're welcome.
As I answered the phone, I could hear the excitement. I could hear all the emotions that were bundled up and almost sounding as if they were falling from the sky in a parachute. As I sat beneath the tree and listened to the conversation, giving all my attention to the words that were being spoken and the questions that were being asked, I raised my hands in thanksgiving that you decided to call me to have these conversations with. I felt so special in that moment.
There's one left.
Yeah, two. There's two.
Two? Wait, which
I
one's
think the
just the
house
home,
and the
right?
building.
Oh, the building. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to leave one of those for you.
Oh my gosh.
The question is which one? We're about to find out. The conversation that we had was pertinent to me figuring out what I needed to say to the moon. And after our conversation, I felt so much at home with where I was in my life and with the direction that I was headed that I knew I didn't have anything left to say to the moon except thank you. Thank you for your light. Thank you for showing up every day. And thank you for bringing light to the darkness. And with that,
Oh my gosh. As our conversation came to a close and we shared our Thanksgiving, I headed back to a building with many homes to share even more Thanksgiving. I wanted everyone to take a glimpse at the beautiful moon that was shining on this special night. So as I made my rounds through the building, opening shades and curtains, and pointing people in the direction of the moon so that they too might be able to take in this beautiful sight. Once again, I gave Thanksgiving for friendships and all the possibilities that come in the interactions that we have.
the end.
The end.
That was beautiful. See, that wasn't that bad, was it?
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you saw this comment from Daniel. He said it's like a literary rap battle. I love it. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Keisha. Dinsdale said, your ladies' voices are so soothing.
Oh,
Oh, there we go. A form of meditation. Okay, maybe that's our next venture, right?
right?
We are tapping into audiobooks. There we go.
Okay.
I love it. I love it so much. This is awesome. Okay. JL said, so is this going to
Is this
be a
gonna be a
real
real?
book now? Could be. You'll have to let me know what you want to do with that. Here's a very special message for you.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Love you too.
Awesome. Okay.
Impressive.
See, not at all as bad as it sounds, or maybe it was, and you just did really well
Oh, okay. Well,
at navigating through it. How was this process for you? How would you describe it?
this process, not having any background at all,
Mm-hmm.
gosh, like I say, I just like to write. Um,
Mm-hmm.
all the rest of it, whew, I
Mm-hmm.
can't imagine the detail that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
For me, the easy part, I had the easy part. I got to write. I got to do um, it. It just comes naturally to me. So it didn't feel like hard work or anything of that nature. So I enjoyed each and every moment I sat down to either read through or revamp or create something new
Yeah.
with me and my cup of tea. So I couldn't say that part it was strenuous for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what I struggle with is the not knowing piece, which
Mm-hmm.
that you just have to be okay with not knowing because that's why you have other experts that do know and do have that background and have that passion to do everything on the other side of
Mm-hmm.
the publishing journey. So um, I can't say that it was. I can't say that it was difficult from my perspective. So
Okay.
now I don't know. You have to share how
Well,
that works from your perspective.
lots of details on this side. That's all I'm going to say. Jacayla said, what kind of tea?
Oh my gosh, I love myself some herbal tea.
Mm-hmm.
Not very much a caffeine fan.
Mm-hmm.
I love me some herbal tea. You any kind of herbal tea, I probably got it in my cabinet right now for sure.
We got a quote that we need to add to your website here. I just like to write.
Yeah, that's true. That's me all day.
All right, JL, make sure that you put that on there. Okay. Goodness gracious. We are running, running through this time here. Those of you that are just checking in with us or are watching the replay, if you have questions, drop those in the comments so that we can get those answered as we go. Um, you see that face?
I do.
She's probably working on it right now as we speak. Make sure that you again drop those questions in there or just say hello. Let her know how proud of her you are, and make sure that you buy a copy of Words in Sequence. Should we show them what it looks like?
Sure.
Okay, we're gonna dip out for just a quick second. Y'all keep watching, but I want to show you this video so that you can see what it looks like. I think I've watched that so many times. It's the jazz in the background that gets
Oh
me.
yeah.
I'm just like
Love me
chilling
some
and
jazz. Love me some jazz.
I'm just chilling. Okay. JL said, "Yes, with the jazz." Yep, absolutely. That I feel like every book should have a soundtrack to
Mm.
accompany it, right? What type of music would you add to like a SoundCloud playlist for Words in Sequence?
I mean, you nailed it on the head with the little preview there. Jazz, of course, because it is so rich and so dynamic.
Mhm.
It has so many highs and lows, which is simulated in life. So
Mhm.
I think jazz would be paired very nicely with Words in Sequence.
There we go. Any specific artist that you would want included in that?
Oof, sheesh, man.
Any type of instrument that needs to be included.
Well,
Let's go there.
I
Let's go
love a
there.
nice saxophone. I
Okay.
love a nice saxophone.
Mhm.
I like the keys.
Mhm.
Um, you know what? I am just a live instrument kind of person. So
Mhm.
if I can sit somewhere and be a part of live instruments,
Mhm.
that's that's everything.
I love it. Okay. Awesome, awesome. We're gonna maybe I'll make some homework for you
Uh
on the live. Just creating stuff.
oh.
I have Spotify playlists for the romance novels
Hmm.
that I created, and it was stuff that I was listening to as I was writing. So it sort of inspired the story.
Hmm.
But you're gonna do this in reverse, right? Think about a soundtrack that would flow with the book, and then
Okay.
start to compile those songs. Whatever artist, jazz artist, whatever live version of the songs that you hear, we're gonna start to compile that into a Spotify playlist so that we can share that with the readers so they can read and listen at the same time. Immersive experience. There it is. There we go.
Oh, okay. I like it. I like it.
There we go. There we go. Okay. Tell me what makes this book special? Not just special to you, but special, period.
Oh, I think I think it definitely has something to offer someone,
Hmm.
anyone. I think it has something to offer anyone, and I think that's enough to be special.
Yeah.
Um, I think that reading the pieces that are in this book will kind of make you pause and think about things that either you have experienced or someone you know has experienced. and the play on words. If you're big on that, I'm big on the play on
Mhm.
words.
Mhm.
You will connect with those different minute little pieces in the play on words.
Yeah,
So I think that's special about the book too, because there's a lot of play on words.
absolutely. One piece in particular, I'm not gonna say what it is, but, buy the book, buy the book, and you'll probably figure out exactly which one it is just by the title alone. Awesome. I absolutely love this book for so many reasons, but one of the things that you don't know is that as I was editing it and doing the book layout for it so that we could get it print ready, um, and mind you, I've already read the poetry, right? You shared it with me about a year ago,
Mhm,
right? And I read through all of it, but at different moments in our life,
mhm.
different, words speak to us.
Yes.
And so there were pieces that I read back through the second time as I was editing it that just really struck home with me and where I am right now. So I wanna thank you for writing this book because, not only are there pieces that may resonate with you now,
Mhm,
but there are pieces that may resonate with you later, when you
mhm.
pick it up and read through it again. So this book to me, books that do that are, timeless in a way, right? Because they can reach you wherever you are in whatever moment, you're in whatever season you're in, of life. And I am so appreciative that you brought this book to LaunchCrate and have allowed us to help to lift it out into the world. So thank you for this.
Oh my gosh, I'm not even sure what to say. That was such an eloquent speech. Wow. I don't thank you.
Yeah.
Um, whew. I think way back, a year ago, thinking about the whole journey of it and being vulnerable enough to share.
Yeah,
Um, I just appreciate how welcoming you were to even um, to take that chance to encourage me to even step out
yeah,
in that way. And so I'm grateful that we were connected in that way
absolutely.
to, bring this whole process in this book to bring this to life. So
Yeah,
thank you.
you got it. You got it. Another message here for you that was left in the comments. Want to make sure you have the chance to see
Oh,
that. That's what's so fun about these book launch parties, being virtual like this.
yeah.
You get to connect with people near and far, and to do so in a way where you can still connect with them, which I love so very much. So awesome. Okay. You talked about being vulnerable
Yes.
and stepping out on faith and
Yes.
trusting in yourself.
Hmm.
Don't use those two.
Don't use
But
those two. Okay.
but if you could leave a word of advice to someone who has a story on their heart,
Hmm.
what would it be?
I would say to give yourself permission. Um, when you give yourself permission, you have no idea the the door that you open for other people to give themselves permission,
Mhm.
and that it's okay. It's that there's validation that you can find in giving yourself permission to just simply be in that moment with yourself. So that would be what I would say, to give
I
yourself
love that.
permission.
Give yourself permission. JL, can you drop that one as a quote as well? Give yourself permission.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we go, a couple more comments
Oh,
here. One more. And I want you to answer this one. What do we have to do to get an autographed copy of Words in Sequence?
well, first you've got to purchase the book. Um,
That's step number one.
I foresee maybe we could come up with some sort of events as we kind of navigate, our our current situation. But I do look forward to, um, again, stepping outside of my comfort zone,
Mhm,
getting in front of people and giving the opportunity to meet and engage with readers. And
mhm.
if they so would like a signed copy, I would be glad to do that.
Awesome. JL said an in-person event? Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay,
to me,
um,
please.
right. Absolutely. Um, any final thoughts you wanna share with people on why they should buy this book? Like
Um,
Glow, who already did. You see that? I did.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, Final thoughts. I would say one, I want to thank everybody that has come on and those that will go back and watch. I appreciate your time. Um, if you are looking for thought provoking um, mirage of words, you will find that in words in sequence.
Mhm,
Um, you will I wouldn't say necessarily that you should read them in order once you do make that purchase, because I don't think that there's a true order to poetry. I think you could simply purchase a book and just randomly open to a page and be drawn in the way that the words are placed,
mhm.
sequenced on a page. So my final thought, I guess, would be to go buy the book, find out for yourself, share, comment, tell me what you think. And I'm
Absolutely.
looking forward to it.
In reviews, people, in
Yes.
reviews. Final thought here from one of our viewers.
Wouldn't that be
We're gonna
something, huh?
let's speak it into existence. Why not? In order for us to sell millions of copies, though, you all have to not just like this video, but share this video far and wide, with those who you think would love, love, love this book and benefit from this book, which is everybody. It's a very human-centered book. Jakayla said,
Claim that.
"Claim it." Absolutely. So please, 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 help us spread the word about Words in Sequence. It's a very, very, very powerful book, a very powerful compilation of poetry, and I've read it. I love it. She's biased because she wrote it. So I gotta tell you, from all of the manuscripts that I have seen come across my desk, this was one that I read and said, "She needs to do something with this now." Keep that in mind. Go buy the book, buy a copy for your friends and family, and share this to Facebook groups, share it with, different people that you know who would, like to welcome this into their book clubs. Wherever you think this will be impactful, share it there so that we can help spread the words, and we can claim that 1,000,000 copies. Oh, sorry, millions of copies, at least 2,000,000.
Plural, huh?
Millions, plural.
I love it. I
Let's
love
claim
it.
it. Let's go with it. Awesome. JR, thank you so much for joining me for this live. This was a lot of fun this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Can we wrangle you back in for another live at a later date?
Sure. Why not?
All right.
Let's see what happens.
I love it. Okay. Again, thank you all so much for joining us this evening, for commenting, for sharing, for watching the replay, for adding your light and your love and your energy to this book launch party. We could feel all of it, and hopefully, you could feel it as a viewer as well. So, until the next time. Y'all have a good evening, a good morning, a good afternoon, whatever time it is as you're watching this, and make sure that you go be great. Have a good one.